And we're live. Well, all except Joe because Joe's on the phone. Now we've got multiple viewers, or we've got one viewers and multiple hosts. Guests. I guess it's guests. Joe's the co-host because he's the one that's supposed to be entertaining everybody like he is, you know?
I'm supposed to.
Oh, I thought you were still on the phone. I'm looking for Chad because...
Joe, what's up, man?
Boy, oh boy.
Word.
You guys had no problem messaging me, right?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Chad says it's not allowing him to message me. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I don't have a problem getting messages from anyone else. And he's not here yet, so. How you doing? That's what Joe's asking.
What's up, man? I'm doing good. They all seem to be doing good. We're doing good. Thanks for asking.
Right? How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, man? How's that art coming along?
Right now, I'm just trying to get. I have a third that's supposed to show up. Wow, this is not easy to do. It should be easy to do.
What would that be?
So I bought 2 brushes, cheap brushes, because it was from Hobby Lobby, which they used to have some quality stuff. Now it's pretty much all cheap. Ah, here's Chad.
That
Welcome,
sounds
Chad.
just about anywhere else.
Welcome, Chad Shirt.
What's up, Chad Shirt? How you doing?
A little bit higher. Tilt it a little bit more.
Where's Sid?
I don't even know if he can hear us. Can you hear us?
He's still setting up, homie.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So that's something to take place in the corner.
We're the
Growing and
Misfit
learning,
Brady Bunch.
going through a difficult period where my vision is more advanced than my ability. That's forever, dude. That's not a period. The more advanced your skills, the more advanced your vision will be ahead of your skills. So I bought a small fan brush because the big fan brush was not cutting it for me.
All right.
It's cheap. Like I think, yeah. It's not my $20 brushes that I've been buying of late.
Well, that's good. Niggas are broke these days. Save that money.
And
Buy
Joe, I
some.
don't think you saw it because you're on the phone, but check this one out. Oh, let me get. I can't stand that the camera's backwards.
Ooh, that's pretty groovy.
So I should be able to paint some hair streaks with this a little bit better, hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I printed out some my Viking baby reference material.
Well, keep honing them skills, Joe.
I don't know who took those photos of the Viking babies, but they're awesome.
They wouldn't
If
do
I
much
did, I
in
would
the
totally
fight, though.
credit them though, because that's pretty awesome.
Joe Squeezy's boy.
Darren, what's up, man? I knew you'd be here, man. That's my brother, everybody.
Darren,
Yeah, man.
very cool. Welcome, Darren.
What's up? I'm glad you found us.
Yeah.
Steve said
Daddy,
you
you
might
with
be
us
making
now?
an appearance in the chat
Uh,
too.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
can hear
got
you.
you, man.
Okay, hang on. I'm trying to figure out my audio here. There we go. I should do it.
Darren said, "Sup, cuz." He's talking to
There we
you,
go. Now I got you.
Doing a little painting. Well,
You
getting
heard
ready to do
Ricky?
a little painting.
Yes, I did.
The pumpkin hawk.
The pumpkin ox. Well, because I told him it was called the Gourd Ox Pub. And
Ah,
he's like,
wrong
gourd.
kind of gourd.
He's like pumpkin?
That's a different spelling.
Right.
That's a different kind of gourd. This is the
I
kind
told
of
him.
gourd that a bull does to your ass if you're not fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a minute. I got
Yeah.
So is this a commission piece or is this part of your of the overall Cthulhu stuff?
no. This isn't Cthulhu. Can you see this?
No.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well,
Is it
no.
part of that like overall story or?
No, this
It's
is
a
a
wedding
separate
gift.
painting.
Oh, gotcha,
This is a
gotcha.
separate painting. This is a wedding gift that I've been doing for actually I think 7. This is the 7th part.
Jesse as Cthulhu.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, he's a horny little Cthulhu.
Well, you know.
Horny, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pun totally intended. You're right back.
Squirrel hairbrushes, huh?
All right, so I guess I'll start off with the colors again.
Yeah. You
Cerulean
been painting
blue,
there?
all colors that I'm painting with are golden opens because
Golden open. No matter what the color.
golden opens stay moist longer, so you can blend them a little longer. The hardest thing about this is that they stay moist so long that you can lift up
Very
stuff
cool.
that you're not ready to be putting down,
Right on.
or that you want to paint over or whatever. It just doesn't dry fast. Burnt umber,
Burnt umber.
burnt sienna, which I was mixing, so I skipped mixing that now. So I'm actually not sure what I have to reload now because I missed a day hitting with the mist.
Ooh.
Like, so on my palette, I've got this palette is a wax paper palette. I can throw it away when I'm done. But like I've got the colors lined up this way.
Right on.
And I got a couple of them up here, but I think I got to replace that one. So normally I miss these every day between the shows so that they stay workable. But I didn't today, so I don't know how well off they are. So
You can always poke it with your finger.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can try to avoid that because I'm gonna get enough of that on my fingers later anyway. Titanium white, cadmium yellow, dark. Pearl red is the one that was up top that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use. Cadmium orange, cadmium red medium, and cobalt blue. So that's pretty much all the color. Oh, bone black. Bone black is on the bottom. Usually I use black and white to make a gray, and I can tone down the colors so that they're not as bright when I add a gray or a little bit of black or a little bit of white to the mix.
Right.
I'm going to be probably adding a little bit of white to the mix to heighten values anyway. So if I add just a tad bit of black, it'll help gray it out.
Groovy, man.
Boy.
This guy.
What's that?
Huh?
That's what I said.
No, I said this guy. I was thinking
Which
He
guy?
knows what he's talking about. Listen to this guy.
Oh, you're leaving already? You should play us on your
Yeah,
phone.
he's got to
Darren.
go to work. But hey, I'm glad he stopped by, man.
Certainly am. Yeah.
Have a good one, bro. Love
Nice
you,
to see
man.
from you.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, definitely love you. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, he
A long
works
while.
every day, man. 10 hours a day. Every day.
He's keeping himself out of trouble that way too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty
So,
proud of that dude, man.
I'm happy if he's getting his shit together. I mean, certainly. And you know I'm going to support him.
Right. Hey,
The
what's
same-
going on, Ephraim?
All right. So, where to start? Then starting with the
Dun, dun, dun.
filberts
Yeah, yeah.
and the flats. So, that's a whiner. I might get to that.
Yeah.
So, these are the filberts. For anyone that's wondering still, filberts are round tops and flat edge. And flats are obviously flat on top.
Wow.
Flats are really good for painting straight lines. So, like if you wanted to edge up to a line, you could edge up to a line with a flat like this and create a straighter edge, a harder edge. Normally, I'm trying to not do a super hard edge, but
Yeah.
7 different conversations going on. I've been using the smaller filberts. Well, trying to use one as a blending brush and one as a painting brush, but I end up using them both as a painting brush. And then the bigger one for a more massive area.
Right on.
Now I'm going to start. I've got to put some titanium white up at the top because the titanium white I still have has got streaks of red and streaks of yellow. It looks like peppermint. All right. I think I'll see if I can find a. Nope. So black and white is gray, obviously. And that's what I'm going to start with because I'm going to start with his shirt. See if you can see me mixing. If you want to see me mixing. I'm going to do a little bit of brown in her hair where I kind of went over it last time too. I figure if I do that and let it dry, then I focus on the shirts and then the helmets, and the hair will be dry enough for me to do my next attempt.
Word.
Yeah, I already started using the one that I was going to use to blend.
Very cool.
So, Rich, are you using soft body acrylics, or are these just kind of more normal higher end acrylics?
So Goldens don't do soft body per se, but they're basically the equivalent of a soft body.
Okay.
They are a little bit more expensive, but like I was saying, I don't know if you heard me earlier. The benefit to using Golden Opens, it's not just Golden, but Golden Opens,
Mm-hmm.
is that they take longer to dry. So if I want to blend,
Yeah. It's
I can
gonna
just softly
it's gonna
blend.
it's got a longer dry time, so it stays malleable longer.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But that's also a little bit detrimental too, because they once they do start drying, they take so long to dry that they can make you impatient. Well, they make me impatient all the time. Not they don't can they do make me impatient.
No.
But like when I start working on something, that's my own downfall. Like I want to get it done. Like I want to work something until I'm happy with it, and sometimes you just can't do that. You just can't work it until you're happy with it all at once. You have to do layers, which is what the whole theory of blocking is.
hmm
Like I'm blocking in a shape and I'm blocking in a color, the dark color in this case. Um, and then once that dries, and I've got the next lighter color already blocked in, then I can do a modeling layer or a detail layer, which I'm pretty much modeling at this point because I've already done this. So I'm just going over and kind of re-highlighting some of them. Well, not re-highlighting, I'm re-darkening some of them.
Right.
But yeah, that's once you got that blocked in, then your next steps are not worrying about creating the shape or the basic color. It's creating the tones and creating the well, I guess the next smaller shape. Like you got a big basic shape, and then you get smaller shapes on top of it. So when you're
Yeah.
thinking about it, that's what you should be thinking about. Is like each one is a shape.
All right.
This right here, the shape that I'm painting is a smaller triangle. You shouldn't be thinking of it as hair at this point. You should be thinking of it as a smaller triangle.
Right.
Once you get done with that, the next stage, the modeling stage, is showing the way the hair flows. So you're showing what comes into the light, what recedes in the light. So that's the next stage, is the shape of the light versus the shape of the shadow, which is basically what I'm doing in a blocking kind of form at the moment. I'm not doing too much of it because I've already done it before, and some of it needs to be dark and some of it doesn't need to be dark.
hmm
So what I'm coming through and doing is just kind of hitting a few spots. I want to show just enough to show that there's separation in the hair. The next pass, I'll be using that other brush that I just showed you that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
And now, while that's drying, because if not, I'll mess it up, I'm going to come in with a darker gray. Because this shirt is eventually going to be male.
Yeah. You had said something like that before.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it from a t-shirt into scale now. I've already turned her shirt shirt and jacket into a kind of cloak with a fur lining, a fur mantle.
Mm-hmm.
What I should be doing is turning this over like this. And the reason that I should be doing that is because it creates a texture when I lay the brush down, a round texture on the bottom.
All right.
So I'm kind of creating,
now.
yeah, kind of creating the scales.
Right. Gotcha.
Now it's not
man.
exact. It's not going to be exact.
No.
And this is a little bit thinner than it'll be in the final. But it allows me to gauge some where it's going to fade into shadow.
Right. Gotcha, man.
And I also don't want to take focus away from the face. We talked about this a couple of times. I don't know if, Chad, that you caught this, but part of your composition, part of the idea of your composition is where you want to draw the eye to.
Yeah.
So the way you draw the eye to it, one of them is all of them are contrast. All of them. Your eye can be drawn by contrast between dark and light, or soft and sharp, or focus and out of focus. And that's what I'm doing a little bit of all along here. I mean, there's sharpness in the eyes and certain parts of the face, and then there's looseness in there too. Then there's the highlight that's going to be where the light's reflecting.
Man.
I need more dark. And that's the problem with you need to be careful about overworking, because while it's wet, it'll blend, but when it starts to dry, it'll become tacky and it'll lift up if you keep hitting it too much.
Right.
And I have a tendency to hit it too much because I'm trying to get it to a spot where I want it to be.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just being in a hurry. I mean, the more patient you are, the better. And I'm just not very patient.
I'd never guess that.
Well, you
Never.
know, it's more with this because I painted with oils, and the oils are just so satisfying because they're not going to dry, but they're not going to get that middle stage tacky either.
Right.
So I can just go on and on with it. The real key to painting with oils is not to paint two directions. If I'm going to paint over a color, I paint one direction with that brush, and then if I go back over it, I got to dip in the paint and go back over that same direction, because if you go the other direction, it blends. Unless you want it to blend.
Right.
And there's schools of thought on that blending. One of the schools of thought is you don't blend on the canvas. You blend on the palette before you put it on the canvas. I don't know if I agree with that. That's the thing with oils is that for them to actually dry, really dry, not dry to the touch, because they'll dry to the touch within a couple of days, but the top layer dries first. So oils dry top layer, then the next layer down, and the next layer down, and the next layer down. And in the end, because of that, it can take over a year for the painting to completely dry.
All right. Depending on how thick you paint it, right?
It's how many layers you paint.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
And generally, the rule of thumb with oils is what they call thick over thin.
All right.
So you do thin layers and the thinner medium related stuff on the lower layers. And as you go up, as you progress towards the highlights and the final lights and the final darknesses are generally the last things to be done.
Right.
And as you progress towards them, that's when you get thicker. But yeah, I didn't know that. Like, it took me some learning before I had any clue that it took a year to dry for oils. Because like I was just letting them dry and then coating them with uh, varnish.
Mm.
And then I learned that if you coat them with varnish in less than a year, they could have what's equivalent to a mudslide in paint because the underside is
Still
not
wet.
dry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's still moisture under there.
Right. And you can't see it because the top layer is dry. So
Yeah.
and that when I was saying that there's two schools of thought on whether you mix on the canvas or whether you mix on the palette and put it on the canvas are related to that. Because you're mixing on the canvas. If you're mixing on the canvas, you're making it thicker.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mix off to the side, it's, not any thicker, but it can be thinned before you put it on. The real secret to working with uh, acrylics, which is something that I have to keep reminding myself, but yet still fail to do, is that you have to be patient. Like you have to let that I need to work on it go until it dries. I'm working on this so that I can allow the hair to dry.
Right.
So ironically, I'm overworking this spot a little bit while I'm trying to work the other spot in. But the same rules apply as far as like if I paint over the neck or over here or something like that, I can just paint over it later.
All right.
If you learn how to get the effects that you want to with your brush, you can actually save time. You're not trying to paint every little thing because your brush will take up all of the effects. Will create effects that you otherwise wouldn't have thought it or would have worked more to get. What I really want to figure out is how to do a ringnail effect.
Mm.
I think I know the answer. You can do. You can use things to paint with, like you can use a leaf to get a leaf imprint. Now there's three people other than me in here, and it's still dead silent.
Well,
Just watching, bud. Just
I'm
watching.
not that interesting.
we're the silent party.
The donor party.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
You had enough to eat at your wedding yesterday.
Yeah, there was so much.
Yeah, it's funny. Eli was asking. He's all like, "Can I have dinner?" He's talking about tonight if you're having dinner, and the man is like, "Yeah, he's gonna have dinner." He's like, "What are you having?" And I'm like, "Probably leftover from the wedding. Probably 10 pounds of lasagna and 15 pounds of hot dogs and
had a couple of burgers and some pasta salad.
chicken."
There you go, man. Shit. All day long. I eat that shit.
Hey, Eli, you want to come in and say hi to Joe? I thought you
Eli,
might.
where you at, man?
Get right over here, and I'll switch the camera for you for a minute. And bang.
What's up? How you
No
doing, Eli?
You see Chad's there too,
Hey, I
right?
like your shirt, man. That's a cool shirt.
Chad's right there.
That's a nice shirt.
And that's
I
Brett.
like ACDC.
Very cool, man. So what you doing, Eli? Say, I'm getting the hell out of here.
I'm just gonna stand here slightly. Oh, he says ice pop.
Oh, okay. Hey, give me one too.
Cold. Oh, they're getting cold as he's telling you.
Oh, okay. So when they're frozen, grab me one, man.
He picked up some ice pops when we were at Walmart. That's where we ran just before the stream. I didn't know if I was gonna get back on time.
Right on.
And he picks up some and puts them in the cart. And, well, not cart, basket. And then when we got home, he grabs them and he's like, "Gonna have some ice pops." And then we're like, they're juiced right now. they're not ice pops yet. We got to stick them in the freezer first. Like, you see the word ice? Because they feel cold.
Yeah.
And then we come back home, and Amanda's like, "Oh, I should have grabbed you some." He's having some allergy issues.
All right.
And she's like, "I forgot to pick you up some allergy medicine. You want to run back out, or do you want to go back out? Or no, I got to go get some." And he's like, "No, that's okay."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know that she can go out by herself and get them, right?" And he's all like, "Oh yeah, go by yourself."
There you go.
You're eating them. It's cold. Yeah. He's like eating cold, and then he's like, "Drink it. It's blue."
I want a blue one, man.
You hear that? He's gone. That was his 2 minutes.
Right on. Like,
He'll
I've
probably
wasted
stop
plenty
in
of
later.
time bothering with you people. I'm out.
It kind of has that kind of ring maily look.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yep, definitely getting there.
Well, it's that thing about having to let it dry.
Right on.
That's still tacky. Well, because I know where the light source is, though.
What's that?
Oh, I said because I know where the light source is. I'm adding some just solid black, kind of dabbing it over this area. Because I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the underpainting a little bit underneath here.
Yeah, I see it.
And that's okay. I mean, because that adds some flavor to it. You see, I just lifted some.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
That means that it's not dry enough. So
Stop playing with
so
it.
leave it alone and go over here. And see if I can do the same thing over here.
What, lift to paint?
Yeah, right? Yeah. And then with her, while her hair is still drying, I'm going to add some blacks in here. Just like I said, I wanted to, where they touch, I want to kind of lose a little bit of the edges in that area.
Right on.
Because it's so symbolic. They are one thing.
They're blending. Merging, if you will.
And I said something to Jesse about, one step forward, two steps back because I had to repaint her hair because I wasn't happy with it yesterday. And he's like, "Well, it look good." I'm like, "No, the hair didn't look good to me at all."
Right. Next level. Bing, bing, bing.
Now that there's a base coat on the helmets, though, I printed off the Viking babies. Viking babies. Oh, kind of the reference I'm using. I mean, the light's not exact, but it's good
Right.
enough to get the idea that the light's coming from this side,
Right.
and the light's coming from this side here. So it's coming from this side actually, but close enough for me to get an idea.
The Viking baby
Have to allow
pictures
my brain to reconfigure.
kind of remind me of the Frosted Mini Wheat commercial.
The first thing that I thought of was
What's that?
hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Jump, magic jump.
Knives and scales and puppy dog tails. Baby with the power. What power? The power of who you do what? You remind me of the baby.
So I did black on that side,
That's mad.
but I'm using burnt umber on this side. That black is enough transparent where you see the brown that's underneath of it.
Right.
So that shouldn't look too unnatural, and I'll blend right through here.
Dreamy man. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too.
No. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum.
See how they leave us to carry the show? Oh, I thought you were going to say be right back too.
No, but I should unmute myself.
That's why you've been so you've just been quiet, right?
Yeah, no, I was just being quiet. But when my wife came in the room, so I muted myself. And then when the other two took a break, I was like, "Oh, it must be break time." And then it was like, "Oh, crap! Still muted." Rookie mistake.
The microphone that I've got, I'm not using because I can use my laptop. It mutes by tapping the bottom of it.
Okay.
So, like, if I reach over to adjust the microphone, because I've got it on the boom or it's hanging down, then I can tap it and mute myself and not even know it. I actually stopped using it because everybody was saying that they were hearing weird sounds when I was using it, and it's like right over my head, so it should be really clear, but it wasn't clear. All right. Slightly smaller. So what's been up with anybody?
That's right.
I had a whole heck of a lot. Well, you know what I was up to yesterday, so
Yeah. Renewing your vows.
Very good.
yeah. Didn't get home until like 9, 10 o'clock after cleaning up and everything. I was so exhausted.
Wow.
I will never renew my vows with my wife, ever. We got married on top of the stratosphere in Las Vegas, and
Very cool.
she's scared of heights.
Wow.
So she has no idea what she agreed to. None.
They're like,
Totally out of it.
too late. The papers have been signed.
That's right. I'm the only one that remembers it, so it's whatever I say.
Right on. No, really, you promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit, man.
She had no idea we were getting married that day. So
Very cool.
kind of
Wait
just,
a minute, she didn't say yes?
well, she did because we had to.
You're going to say yes or you ain't going to climb down.
Or I'm dropping you over the edge.
No, she was. She had moved back to Indiana. We were going to get married. We'd kind of made a plan for it, and I didn't want to deal with it really. So when she flew back out, or she drove back out to help me move our stuff, like the rest of our stuff, back to Indiana, I picked her up from. I guess she did fly out because I picked her up from the airport, and instead of going to the apartment, I had to go to the courthouse, and then we had like Methuselah's grandmother doing our marriage license, and I'm thinking
wow.
we're going to be late.
Took a while, huh?
Oh boy.
When your job is literally typing all day long, and there are two O's right next to each other in my name. She had to look at them both times.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you this slow? So
Well, it's because she had to just really assimilate that it's
Is recreational weed legal out there? Maybe that's the case.
it wasn't at the time.
Oh, okay.
She was just old.
Wow.
She had glasses,
apparently.
like just like rested on the tip of her nose.
Oh,
As she looked over, and I'm like, "What's
yeah.
okay?"
This is how I read the small print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Right. He was a scary bear. He was a hairy bear. So I unpacked my adjectives. I'm still a big fan of Schoolhouse Rock. I miss that shit. Think they need to bring it back. Maybe our kids will get smarter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it has a whole lot to do with Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Well, I mean, you're sitting in school, you're having a test. You're in second grade. You have a test. What's a noun?
They
All
don't
of a
know.
sudden, noun is person, place, or thing. You're like, oh, it's a person, place, or thing.
Nah, I teach juniors, and they still don't know.
Oh, wow.
well, what I'm saying is that a lot of these kids don't think that they have to do the schoolwork anyway, so
Of course
they're not going to watch something that, like the last time I met anyone and talked to anyone that read a book. Something simple, When was the last book you read? Nobody read a book. Hell, they don't even read comic books anymore.
Shit.
To be fair, most of the comic books are crap, but
Anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
are
but see,
correct.
that's why they keep going and watch the movies, because they don't realize the comic books have been crap. But they're crap because they're forcing politics again.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
that whole politics subject.
Yep, yep, yep. It always comes around to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it away from it as much as I can because it really does. Like you see it in Michigan, they've passed hate speech law now.
No.
So I guess the First Amendment doesn't count for anything in Michigan because if they think that it's hate speech, you can serve up to 4 years.
Wow.
I think that happens one time, goes to the Supreme Court, gets struck down quickly.
Yeah,
That's
but you
good.
know what? If you haven't noticed, there are things that have been ruled unconstitutional that have been done anyway.
Very true.
Look at that the cake baker.
Well, yeah, they use lawfare against him. Except for he keeps getting wins and getting money.
Well, yeah, but at first he wasn't, and he lost his business and he lost everything. So it was
that?
just pulling victory from defeat, but that whole defeat never should have been there in the first place.
Mm.
Like, I can turn down any customer for any reason that I want to,
Right.
as long as I don't make it impossible for them to get what they're trying to get.
Right.
Now, if I go around saying, this guy's doing this, so blackballing, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm not doing that, then I should have the right to turn down anyone, to refuse anyone's business for any reason. Because the government shouldn't be able to make me, especially if it's a religious matter. Freedom of religion was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Freedom's just a facade anyway. It's not real. You're as free as they allow you to be.
What makes me disagree with that is that we are the freest country in the world. Like, if we don't have freedom, then nobody has anything close to it.
Well, there's your answer.
Well,
Nobody
I
has
that. I don't
anything
think
close.
that's the case. I just think that we've been snowed for so long. We've given up the fight. I think that a lot of people don't realize that you have to keep up the fight for there to be something.
But see, they don't want that. They want everybody to conform. They want everybody to be mindless drones that they can put you where they want you, put you in your little class, and you will stay there happily doing,
So much for staying away from politics.
Hey, sorry.
Oh boy.
Well, I wasn't trying to delve deeply into politics, just saying, I think
Right,
we're all
right.
pretty free. I mean, we may not be. There are definite limitations that shouldn't be there, but we're a lot better off than any other country that is out there.
Yeah. I get it.
That's something,
We exist in a flawed system, but at least we have a system.
Yeah, that's it. And like, there's not going to be a system that's not flawed. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's a myth. That's just like we live in a democratic system. That's a myth too. We live in a republic.
That's right. We live
We've
in a
lived in a republic ever since it was created. It was created as a republic because democratic systems fail too.
Well,
I mean, republic systems
speaking of
fail
things,
too.
speaking of things that people never read, they apparently never read the Constitution, the amendments, and
Right.
all of the
Well,
things that go along with that particular time frame.
They don't
So
want to read a
they don't
newspaper
know
article.
these. They really don't know these things.
Exactly.
They don't want to read a newspaper article. They're stopping teaching cursive. That's not a necessity anymore. And if you don't teach cursive, how can you read the original documents? All that you can read is what's translated and what's up there for you to read. Well, this is your area, right, Chad?
Yeah. I'm the I guess I'm the conspiracy theorist guy.
You're
I'm
the
not.
conspiracy
I
guy.
would. Yeah, I wouldn't like say I'm a like I'm not an Alex Jones or anything like that, but
No,
I
no.
definitely have an interest in it. But I like to keep my skeptical side about me. I don't believe just everything that people tell me with the government
Yeah, I
telling
wasn't
me we are
implying that
so
you
I
broke down
believed
the
in
street.
every conspiracy. I was implying that you have a lot of knowledge of conspiracies.
Oh yes, for sure.
That's the conspiracy guy aspect. Is you're our conspiracy expert. That's
Yep, and
the
that's
conspiracy guy on
definitely a big one. Yeah, that's definitely a big one that you can make many different topics from.
Right.
Are you any closer to your channel?
Yeah, especially now that the vow renewal and everything is over. Is of course, I was saving up money for that and took a lot of time and everything, so planning and everything. So
I'm losing
probably
your sound.
Yeah,
There
you
you
just
go.
got very low, so I don't know if you moved away from your
I
mic.
got you back. I got you
yeah,
back. Yeah,
There you
there
okay.
you
go.
go.
Yeah, I think it was probably because I was leaning,
All right.
but yeah. Now that all that's over with, I can definitely dedicate a lot more time into getting it off the ground. I have a couple of people too that are kind of helping with me with filming and finalizing scripts and so on and so forth.
Very
Trying to,
good.
I'm trying to go as professional as I can with it. Given my budget and my I guess you could say technical capabilities at this point. Um,
Right.
but I'm hoping at some point to be able to kind of go a little bit more. Really high definition type of things. Maybe try to come up with a storyline or two, or just to see where that goes. But
Very
yeah, I'm really hoping maybe within the next month or so to actually put out a first video.
groovy. Oh yeah.
What are you gonna cook?
Uh, you mean what cocktail am I gonna make?
Oh, is it a cocktail?
Yeah, it's a bar.
I
Remember
thought
what?
you were
Look,
talking about.
my set's pretty much right behind me.
All right.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
that's at least part I got to clean up. Cleaning up after the vow renewal, trying to get everything put away and stuff. So
Right on. Cute, cute.
So, what's your first cocktail?
well, it's a toss up. I've tried two or three different ones. That was kind of going along with the first topic, which is I don't know if you guys have ever heard of HARP or the high energy auroral research project, which is in Gakona, Alaska. Basically, a
Oh,
giant electromagnetic generator.
all right.
Um, one of the conspiracies of that is that the government is capable of weather manipulation through
Yeah.
that particular system. So I found a drink called the Perfect Storm. Um, so I made it as a trial run. What the heck? Let's see what this is about. And, oh, yeah, no, it was not good. That was not
It was
good.
not
I
the
mean,
perfect one.
yeah, no, it was not perfect for sure. Maybe it'd be a perfect storm in the toilet after you drink one, but
Ah, there you
Whew.
go.
yeah, it was not palatable. Maybe
All right.
somebody like it, but I'm not one of them. So my mom and dad used to work as bartenders. They used to make a drink called a hurricane. So I
All right.
think I might go with that. It's a little bit more, so a little bit more palatable to the general
Right on.
public.
Yeah.
let alone me, because I was planning on making the drink, and then as I'm telling you the conspiracy and everything, I was going to be drinking the drink with you. But
There you
I don't know. I don't know if I can do that with all these drinks.
go.
God, yeah.
By the end of the show, you'll be all foobar and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did I even edit that?
I'll watch it when I sober up. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's generally where that's going. So
Very good.
we'll
When
hopefully
are you
we'll
going to do the show?
well, like I said, like
I
what
guess I'm
day of
asking
the
what,
week or
like, what
whatever.
nights or what time are you planning on?
I'm thinking about probably uploading every. I was thinking about Wednesday usually because that's my day off, but at the same time, uh, it's already going to be pre-recorded and edited and everything, so I don't
So you're
necessarily
not
have to
streaming,
worry
you're
about that.
putting up,
Yeah.
posting videos.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about probably maybe a Monday or a Tuesday.
Cool.
Cool. So you can be our resident conspiracy theorist on here and still do, do your videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That works out.
Yeah, man. Oh. Excuse me. Well, that's so quiet, Brett.
I'm a
You mute yourself again? He muted himself before.
Mm.
No,
I ain't hear him now.
deep and contemplative,
Oh, all right. Got you.
also known as full of shit. But hey,
Hey, they both
So
played
you're
this
thinking how
song.
you could apply the information that he was just giving you about the Alaska thing. You
Mm.
giving any thought to the story we proposed?
oh, other than no,
At least he's honest. Other
Don't
than
feel bad. Don't feel
no,
bad. I'm just checking because I haven't either.
no. Riders of the Future this quarter ends in 8 days, and I've got 136 words
mm.
right there, man.
All
Almost.
right. So, you're going to enter the Flash this time, right? They said they accept Flash now. Actually, there was a winner that was Flash. I don't remember what it was, but
I don't know why this quarter's being rough, but it is.
snuck up on you.
It might be because you've had a lot going on, man. You know.
Yeah, but I have a lot less right now because it's summer. So
Right.
Yeah, I didn't have. Chad, if you didn't know, Brett's a teacher.
I had kind of gathered that he was talking about teaching juniors
yeah,
before.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
I just.
see Hoosier Pendragon. So you're from around you're from the Midwest,
yeah, Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah,
I could,
gotcha.
yeah.
My mother's side of the family is from the Wisconsin area. So I've never been out that way, but I will someday.
Oh,
I used to live in South Bend, Indiana, for a little while.
But come to think of it, one of my favorite YouTuber are from Indiana. Actually, John Townsend. He runs
oh
the channel Townsend and Son.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's all the 17th century, 17th, 18th century
Townsend, yeah.
recipes and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I follow Townsend.
yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I have to look them up.
He's got
Yeah,
a lot of different
that's how I
videos.
learned how slaves cook fish.
Yeah.
Do I?
Yep. Yeah, basically. Basically.
Yeah.
He's a
Split
video.
the fish open, nail it to a board, and put the board in the fire.
Yeah, it's called planking.
Yep.
I might do that, Mikey.
Yeah, right.
It's actually pretty easy. Alton Brown had an episode on Good Eats once about it. You could do it right on your gas grill on low temperature. Yeah.
Hey, it gets the job done.
Fish is easy to cook, man. You put it in front of heat, it pretty much cooks itself.
Right.
But it's also easy to overcook fish too. So.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that the same rule with everything cooking? You put it in your fire and it cooks itself.
Yeah. Yes and no. Some are a little easier than others.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to tend it, right? You don't have to flip it. You just have to make sure it's not overdone.
Yeah. Heck, just smoking fish can be good enough to cook it all the way through.
Right on.
Yeah, I don't smoke.
Not that kind of smoke.
What? I don't smoke cod, no.
The dad jokes are thick tonight.
Yeah.
The Punisher. Hey, like Marvel's done with him, so we can use the name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, sure. You said they killed them off?
Yeah, well, they put him in a different dimension, but basically, the ghost of his wife told him that he wasn't avenging her. So then he was all sorry for all the killings that he did over the last 45, 50 years.
Yeah, so basically everything that drew him, or that drew the audience toward him, they said, "You're wrong."
Wow.
And
Yeah, right. That's the
much.
whole thing. Really, is what it amounts to is Marvel didn't like. Here we go again. Marvel didn't like the wrong politics, buying Punisher shirts, wearing Punisher stuff. They did not like, literally, they did not like police and military wearing the Punisher logo. The irony is the Punisher was a sniper, and that was his logo.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that a sniper corps has chosen that logo, now you're going to complain about it? Like, you created that, dude.
Shouldn't you be honored? I
You
mean,
can't take that back.
I would guess. I mean, I would be honored, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Well, you know that whole Chris Kyle thing. His unit had the Punisher skull.
right.
And what it is that they didn't like the fact that people that were of the right wing or gun lovers or whatever supported it, and now they're talking about, well, Punisher was a bad guy all along and blah blah blah. Well, he started out as a bad guy, but he started out as a bad guy that was hired to kill another mafia bad guy,
Right.
which he thought was Spider-Man.
So he was
He
like,
didn't know Spider-Man was a good guy. Once he learned Spider-Man was a good guy, he stopped trying to kill him, obviously.
right on.
And him and Spider-Man have been on multiple team-ups since then. So, yeah, it's the whole crowd that exists today trying to shut down something that somebody other than their agenda like. It's just stupid shit.
It's Disney.
The thing that sucks about it for me is my favorite characters from Marvel are the Punisher and Moon Knight.
Right.
So
I recently watched Moon Knight. I thought that was okay.
yeah, that's not Moon Knight.
I would agree. I was a fan of Moon Knight as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I thought the movie itself was okay, but to me,
How
it
many
definitely wasn't
personalities does
Moonlight.
Moon Knight have?
Say that again.
How many personalities does Moon Knight have?
Uh,
Trick question. No,
Uh,
not at all.
technically, yeah.
how
He
many
has
personalities does
four
Deadpool
personalities.
have?
He has Mark Spector.
Yeah.
He has Jake. What the hell is his name? He's a cabbie, Jake something. And then he has like the cabbie, the millionaire playboy, and the paramilitary contractor, and then then Moon Knight. So there's four.
All right.
One of the great things about Moon Knight that I loved about Moonlight is that you didn't really know for sure if Moon Knight was happening or if it was all in his head. Because did Khonshu really bring him back from the dead, or did he just crack? His personality snapped, you know? And none of his personalities, not the cab driver, not the millionaire playboy, and not the mercenary, none of them were bumbling idiots.
No.
Right.
Well,
No,
Marvel can't let men actually look proficient and intelligent, and they can't be strong female characters, so therefore they have to be weak male characters.
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem is when I first heard strong female character, I had that same problem. I didn't understand that strong female character didn't mean a strong female character.
Yeah.
It meant a strong character that was a female. Like it meant a fully rounded character that was a female.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was they were wanting Red Sonja,
Yeah.
And that's what Marvel has behaved like if you think about it. Like all of the hero stories now revolve around a woman. None of the guys, either the guys are bad guys or they're incompetent. Even the heroes are incompetent. That thing was happening with Star Wars when they first introduced Poe Dameron and John Boyega's character. I can't remember his name, but the stormtrooper.
And
They had so much potential, but what did they do? They took Poe Dameron, who was supposed to be a pilot and a hero, and then had him so strategically dumb that he flies a bunch of bombers within so close of an area that if one malfunctioned, they all blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except his, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he was demoted.
Yeah, like an experienced combat pilot would do something that stupid.
And
Right.
And John Boyega, who's a black. Well, first of all, you don't drop bombs in space.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. Yeah, for sure.
but like sidestepping that whole physics. The black character that they were such a big deal to put in was a great idea for a character. He was a great idea for a character. A stormtrooper that escapes his brain programming or whatever, reprogramming.
Right.
And then he ends up being what they accused Lucas of doing with Jar Jar Binks. He was just the comedy relief.
Right. The joking.
He had such a great opportunity. They screwed John Boyega over.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Let me go take my dog out. It's that time.
Funny. 3 of the 4 of us have dogs. Guess which one doesn't? No, just kidding. We all know.
Oh, they've had dogs ever go on? No. All right. I shall return, guys.
thank you for the warning.
Speaking of my dog, where is she? Well, she came out of the bedroom a minute ago and walked past me. Oh, There she is.
Yeah, do you still have two dogs or just the one dog?
No, just the one. Maddie passed away a few months ago.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, yeah, we miss her. She was a good girl.
Yeah, I remember that you were talking about the landlord was saying some crap about you not being able to keep both of your dogs or something.
Uh,
It was
uh,
a while ago, but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's why I asked because I didn't know.
yeah, no, that ended up blowing over and everything. It's kind of a hard thing to explain unless you knew the guy that I was talking about. But he can be a bit of a hothead. When you've known me for a number of years, you know I can be quite a hothead as well. Um, we kind of had a butting of heads, and things end up working themselves out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, yeah,
Like Amanda was telling you, because you have a kid that's special needs, they can't take a pet away from him. That just because it could be a comfort animal, they can't.
yeah, yeah,
Which is really weird because they went from no animals in Walmart to it's a comfort animal, you can do whatever you want, and now it's
yeah,
they let them technically walk around there, but they're not supposed to unless they have
yeah,
unless they're a literal
yeah. A
um,
little service dog.
assistant.
Yeah,
Yeah, service dog. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. But if you're looking for an apartment or anything like that, and you have dogs, good luck finding a landlord that will accept the dogs. So, yeah, a lot of the time it says it right in the ad. But no dogs or no pets. Period.
Yeah,
No
it's
dogs.
crazy right now too because
Yeah,
it's hard to find a place to begin with,
yeah,
and then it's hard to find an affordable place, and now it's harder to find a place in an affordable place if you have a pet.
yeah.
Like it
Uh,
doesn't. It's not just dogs either. I mean, pet
No,
period.
no, it's cats, birds. I've heard of a person got evicted because they had a fish tank and no, like no leaking, no,
Yeah,
water
that's
problems or anything like that.
I
But
think that's
no,
kind of overstepping it a little bit.
I thought so.
I'm gonna let this dry and glaze it. Let's see where hair is dry. Ooh, looks like not that spot. Mostly, it's a little bit tacky right there. That's the spots that I applied it thickest. A lot of coverage today so far. That's a good thing. Smooth. These big paintbrushes, I'm trying to fit them like this paintbrush this size.
Mm.
Can't even get in the whole camera. I'm trying to fit into a cup that's that big around. But that's my water cup. Like I've got a few of them. I've got cups that hold in brushes, but I wanted to kind of let it soak and rinse it a little bit while I'm not using it. I'm gonna do a smaller brush because, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit with a spritzer. I'm gonna spritz the row of paints that I'm using. So I guess I'm gonna come back with this brush. what I'm doing is the little area around here. I thought that I was going to do a bolted plate around there, but now looking at some reference photos and all, I've seen like kind of yak fur and stuff. So I think maybe that's where I'm going to go with that. A little bit of armpit hair around the horns.
Yeah, the armpit hair.
Do anything interesting at the shop today?
Did a dog portrait. That was
Oh,
about
there you
it.
go. There you go. You know, I didn't put any music on because you guys were supposed to be talking. I figured if I get 3 guys in here, 4 guys in here, it
Yeah.
can't be that silent.
Oh damn,
Yeah.
we're guys.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
We're men.
yeah,
mean-
you know, we may not be
Right.
stating facts, but generally it's not that quiet. Get a bunch of guys together, they're telling fishing stories or something.
Yeah, it's usually one at a time though.
Do you
Yeah, but that's not silence.
Fair enough.
either of you guys see the Secret Wars thing that came out yesterday?
I saw mention of it, but I don't even really
Secret what?
Secret Wars.
No,
Secret-
Secret Invasion, whatever. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, for the that show,
Disney.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw trailers for it. Yeah.
I watched the first episode yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about that.
Well, the only thing I heard that was really negative was that they were kind of mad that they used AI to do the opening credits.
I heard a lot about that, but I heard that wasn't all that good, and that was what somebody who I read, that's what they were expecting it to be or whatever.
I
You know how
mean,
that goes.
it was a spy show. I mean, they're setting things up.
What's that?
Part of it it jumped. I thought it was a little jumpy, but overall wasn't bad. I was a little surprised. There's one line in the show where Nick Fury says it was old spooks like him that kept the Cold War from.
Oh,
Hi.
pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And
Is what I
someone else was like, "You can't say that." And he's like, "No, you can't say that." And I was like, "Whoa, a little rough."
Yeah.
I missed that most of that. What did Samuel Jackson say?
His line is something along the lines of, "It's old spooks like me that kept the Cold War from going."
Oh, because he said spooks.
Yeah.
uh,
Huh.
Okay, that's what it is. Because he said spooks.
yeah.
And what's funny was when he said it, I just thought spy.
Yeah, right.
To be honest
And
with
then-
you, that when you said it, that's what I thought.
But
But when I said it,
well, when the when the other character was like, "You can't say that." At first, I was like, "What do you?" Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you can't say pork monkey, but it's like a chimp that lives on a corn.
We're looking at that.
He greeted everybody coming in the house.
It's the angry monkey from Family Guy.
Right?
Well, was it?
People just take that shit too seriously. They really do.
Right.
Amanda was pointing that out earlier. She was talking about the sub.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
the
so many memes
Titanic
about
sub there.
that sub. You know, you've got the memes about the sub, the memes about the game controller that controls the sub, and all this shit. And there's somebody that was like, that's they died, and you're making fun of somebody that died, and you're hurting someone's family, and blah blah blah. So I can see that end of it, but I
Yeah.
also can see that it's kind of silly. So there's this guy. Segue. So there's this guy. His name was Frank, and he called off ball games. He was like Yogi Berra type.
Commentator.
Yeah,
Right, right.
and they called him Ballpark Frank. So he died in a house fire.
Oh
My
boy.
first thought was,
Oh boy.
Oh,
when you cook them,
Oh shit.
Well, at least he wasn't stuck on his steak.
and like I was telling Amanda, I'm like, I don't think death is funny, and then she's all, yeah, Ballpark Frank. I'm like, it's not the death that was funny. It was that they called him Ballpark Frank, and he died in the irony of a fire.
Yeah.
That he sat by himself, like he fell asleep with a cigarette, and it started a fire on the couch that he was dozing on or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find it funny that he died, but I find it ironic that his name was Ballpark Frank.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
You're not finding the death funny. You're finding the humor in death.
Yeah, the situation.
Around the death, yeah.
And that's what Amanda's point was, and we kind of got butting heads a little bit over it, but that's what her point was, is that the situation is kind of funny when you think about it. You pay fucking $250,000 to get into a sub that's untested and controlled by a video game controller.
mhm.
Yeah.
Surprise, something went wrong.
Yeah.
Ironically, what was that sub called? And what were they looking for? What were they looking at?
The Titanic. Yeah.
You mean an untested untested sub went to see an unsinkable ship at the bottom of the ocean and imploded? Okay, so there is a little bit of comedic value.
Yeah,
Like,
I can
I'm not
see it
happy
now.
that
Actually,
the people died. I'm not happy. I'm not like, oh, they were millionaires, they should have died because they wasted money. That is not funny, and that's not an argument to me. But yeah, it's kind of ironic, and it's kind of like the Ballpark Frank episode.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard for me to, like, remember when I told you the story about I was in New Hampshire and this guy wanted a spot filled on his leg sleeve, and it was just a very thin spot on his shin. And my first thought was, I'm like, oh, you can do this big, long flame and explosion, and then a blue eye here and a blue eye there. And, I was playing on the Christy McCullough joke.
Yeah.
Christy McCullough was from that town. So I didn't even realize that I said that. And then the whole entire shop shut the fuck up.
Oh boy!
I can't believe you said that. Well, yeah, right. So like, I didn't find her death funny, but I didn't make that joke either. That was a joke that somebody else told me. I didn't. I was not smart enough to see the statue of Christy McCullough we passed on the way into town. Like, I in no way was thinking that she deserved to die or any of that.
Right.
And I don't think it's funny that she did die. But, I was making a play off a joke that already was existing in a place where she could have had a relative in there. I wasn't thinking of that. So I'm like both ends of that argument in one. I'm like an odd dichotomy.
Hey, Brett, you're a little unfocused.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why.
Wake up, Brent.
Hell.
Some coffee. Coffee helps.
I'm about to be arrested on cops.
You get
Somebody
this
is
guy's
swatting me.
voice.
Oh,
What the hell? Mhm. Mm. There you go.
There we go.
Yay!
Yep.
I can
Oh.
see clearly now the fog is gone.
It's
Trading places.
yeah, there.
Groovy.
that wasn't my intent either, but I was actually gonna make him big for a second, but I just hit the wrong buttons. Like here, now we can see if he's in focus.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, there we go.
Now see if we ever do a show where I'm not actually painting, this is how we'll do it. You know.
Why does this feel like a skit from Sesame Street? You know, one of these things don't belong here.
That's me.
Yeah.
In that instance, you're talking about me. What do you mean?
Bam, 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 bam.
So did you end up watching 65?
Not yet. You know, I've been busy writing 136 words. So
Yeah, man, takes a lot.
I wrote that while the wife was driving to the wedding yesterday.
Wow.
it's not that I've only written 136 words. It's just those are the
Usable.
ones I kept.
Yeah,
All right.
I know. I'm just being facetious.
Oh, I do. It's like pulling taffy.
See, I don't know. I don't have that problem when I'm writing. Very few times do I look at my words and go, "Oh, those aren't good words." Like they convey the thing I'm trying to convey. Like afterwards, after you guys read it, I might look at it and go, "Well, maybe I don't need that," or maybe I can, blend this in with something else. But for the most part, like the stuff that I write stays. For the most part. I mean, I'm not saying all of it, but I kind of admire that about you, Brett. I can't do that. I want to, like, even with this project that I'm working on right now, I actually kind of want to open a second document for the next chapter.
Yeah.
But I just can't bring myself to do it.
Why not?
I don't know. It's stupid.
I keep thinking,
I do not understand it.
what, opening up a second document or?
I do not understand what's keeping me from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Documents.
I'm not afraid of it. It doesn't cost shit extra, I just, I don't know.
My thing is I want to be able to go through and look at the comments for, like one chapter at a time when I'm done. So I want to be able to look at just that chapter, and I want to make it easy to find. And
you also have a habit of like rewriting a chapter too. I mean, rewriting it and rewriting it and rewriting it, and I can't do that. Like, I'm having a hard enough time going back and looking at stuff I've already written with the idea of fixing little stuff, let alone rewriting a whole chapter.
well, that's because I realize it's put me in a spot that I didn't plan for, and it's not working, and that's why I end up with like 30 different versions of the same thing. Just each one went to a certain spot, which was a dead end, so that got pruned, and that's the next version. And it's a tedious, inefficient process that I should probably figure out how to avoid. But
let's see, I guess what it is for me is that I'm so used to drawing where I don't start another drawing if I'm not happy with that drawing. Like, if I really, really can't get that drawing going, I just throw it away and start something else. But for the most part, I don't. Like, I work an area, and then I work with shape. You know what I mean? I like kind of build and fill that area, and then I like say if I'm going to draw a dragon or something like that, I'll pick the foreground and the dragon or something, and get the area for it, and just loosely sketch them. And I won't actually commit the lines. I won't actually darken those lines until I've got what I'm happy with. So I don't start like 4 or 5 sketches for that. Now, I did for the Cthulhu painting, but I did because he didn't know exactly what he wanted, and he had just a couple of ideas, and he was looking for ideas. So I did a square of 4 with 4 ideas. But for some reason, I can't do that. I just can't bring myself to do that with
writing.
With writing. Yeah. Now I will look over a document and clean a sentence up, or break a sentence down into 3, or make 2 sentences into 1, or rewrite it that way, and see if it flows right in my head. And I'm just only recently being able to play it back so that the voice program reads it to me.
All right.
Then that helps a little bit, but they don't read like I read in my head anyway, so it'll help me pick up spelling errors or missed periods or something like that, but I'm still not fully into that yet either.
Yeah. Bam, 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 bam.
Thoughts? So, do you have a full idea for the story that you want to do for Rise of the Future?
I think the problem is that I had an idea for the introduction of the main character,
Okay.
but you know how you generally want to stick with just one point of view?
Yeah, with a short story.
Well, this one wasn't. I fought with myself for a long time figuring out how, because the way I wanted to do it, you just can't do it that way. So I just, it's one of those things where knowing the rules slows you down.
How did you want to do it that you couldn't do it that way?
Because I wanted to introduce him just like I wanted this scene where he kind of cut, where the main protagonist, who was going to be the main protagonist, he's no longer the main protagonist, was going to kind of come into this room with this, and it was very much a visual thing. Like you would to see him, and he would not have thought of himself that way.
Right. So you're seeing the character, but he can't see himself.
Right. So it's just not the right thing, and
he wouldn't describe himself as imposing if he was imposing. He wouldn't think of himself any differently than he thinks of himself normally. Right. That's tough sometimes. But you know what's just as hard now that you point that out? Like the answer to me, if you really want to do that, is Conan Doyle's answer.
How sidekick?
Well, the point of view is the sidekick.
Right.
So you don't have to know how Sherlock Holmes solves anything until he tells Watson. But it's from Watson's point of view. So everything that Watson's seeing, everything that Watson observes, it's his take, his flavor, his voice in it. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I'm saying with him. It's, just- it's this. There's a few different books that are like that, and I think that's like in The Great Gatsby when they introduce him. Before they introduce him, everybody's talking about him, right?
Yeah, and that's definitely from. I mean, it's Nick Carraway's point of view the entire way.
Right. Well, and that's what I'm saying is that it's like he's picking up somebody else's point of view.
Yeah.
But that's the way to do that if you want to introduce a character, and he can be the protagonist, but he's not telling the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just
Not that he has to be, but I'm just saying that's the only solution I could think of, and I tried that, and that's actually why I brought that up, is because I've had an instance or two where I've tried to tell the story from somebody else's point of view, and one thing that I can't get away with that Conan Doyle could get away with was they wouldn't let me tell the story without having a purpose for that person telling the story.
yeah. Well, that's like the Bone Brothers story that I got the semifinalist on with Riders of the Future. I broke that rule.
Mm.
At the end of it, there was just no way. There was just no way of doing it concisely without breaking that rule. And I broke it. And I figured, because if you get a semifinalist, you get notes from the judges as to why you aren't a finalist. And I thought that would be why. It wasn't, but I thought it was going to be that. But no, I figured it out. But then it just, you know how you tweak one thing and then 7 more things have to be tweaked all of a sudden, and you know.
Yeah.
So, Riders of the Future, you got to have that speculative element up front and obvious.
Yeah, well, they say within the first 3 pages, but they really mean within the first 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, and then I'm like, that's going to be hard. But, I mean, originally it was going to be easy. Guy's going to go in, there's going to be a gnome, he has a dragon, there's all kinds of good stuff. It's kind of obvious. Now it's...
My autofocus is doing some shit. Can you see
Now
it?
you're out of focus.
Now you're being
so-
spotted.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. My autofocus is out. It does that every once in a while. Like, I'm going to remove myself and come back in and see.
And
Whoa.
see what?
So
Huh?
much better. Oh.
Aw.
My channel.
You're lucky.
I ain't lucky. It's my channel. Ain't luck.
Looks kind of impressionistic.
Mm.
What's Oh, because it's not unfocused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
it's out of
it's actually-
focus. He kind of looks like an upside down Joe Rogan with a helmet on at the moment.
There you go.
I'm sure Jesse will like to hear that.
What's up, free bitches?
I don't know if I'm actually. Yeah, I think maybe I had to reload that blue. I'm trying to gray down some blue for these horns
Mm.
because they're in the shadow, which is why I want to have some blue gray.
Mm.
I want to have enough brown in there too to be able to have that color conversation.
You can do it. I have faith in you, man.
That's what guarantees you a spot on my show every day. You got more faith in me than I got faith in me, so
Well, you know.
that's something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody saw, like I mentioned it to you, Joe. I don't know if you even saw when I mentioned it, or maybe you saw it and went past it. But YouTube changed its standards on monetization.
Yeah, I just read that before I got on here.
So they are no longer looking for 3,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. They are looking for 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours and at least 3 uploads, which I don't think live streams count for. See if I can focus this. Look at that. Focus right here.
Hey, look.
And
There it goes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I just needed to make the camera look at something to do
Right.
that.
You're gonna work. Damn it.
But yeah.
Look at this.
So
Look at the brush.
I don't think those 3 uploads actually count if they're live streams.
That's some bullshit.
Because I just posted, well, we'll see after tonight, but
Right on.
Jake did 2 time lapses. So I've got the drawings time lapsed out. This is still way too dark in volume. And I uploaded 2 of the 3. I'm saving one for a day that we're not streaming.
All right.
But it told me that I only had 3 in 90 days. Like that's bullshit. I had 3 last week.
Right.
So I don't know, you know, and they just switched it over too. So maybe they are still kind of scaling it.
I don't know, man.
I do know that like whatever the results are of how many people watch today, it won't be up today. Only so much of it will be up today.
Right.
But tomorrow and the next day we'll get results in. You can't see this, so how is it that I have a much smaller painting than Cthulhu 2 and I still keep going off the edge?
So I'm just looking up stuff over here, and it says, according to YouTube, live streams that aren't converted to video on demand content won't earn YPP watch hours. But yours are available, right? Or
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
demand. So I would think that would work.
Yeah. I'm still getting used to the whole system, but
You've been demonetized before ever becoming monetized. You owe YouTube money now.
what?
I'm saying they demonetized you before you were monetized, so therefore you owe them money for.
Demonetized?
Yeah.
No, they just never monetized me. They didn't say anything about
I'm saying,
demonetized.
you were demonetized before.
I don't have any strikes against me yet. I guess we've kind of been working towards strikes.
Oops. My bad.
Now, I was watching Ethan Van Sciver do a live stream, his Comicsgate Kings, which is pretty much all the guys that are in Comicsgate producing independent comics. Well, all the guys that used to work for a professional, like DC or Marvel or one of the bigger named ones, not just independent. That's like kind of the rule to get on Comicsgate Kings. You can't be on unless you have worked as a professional in the industry, which is ironic because they are making themselves professionals in the industry without working for any of those companies anymore. But
Right.
anyway, the point was that he was playing. He plays an intro with Hell Yeah. It's called Be Undeniable.
No,
Off
right.
their Undeniable LP.
Okay.
But he plays that, and it doesn't get him striked, and he gets his super chats and stuff. He didn't end up having to pay them.
Mm.
He was doing old '80s kind of R&B. It's not really hip hop. It's kind of R&B song called "Swoop."
All right.
Yeah, so he played those and got away with it, but he credits them on the bottom, like in the information on the bottom. I don't know why I can't remember the simple names today. Maybe I had a stroke and don't know it. Yeah. Description box. So he credits them in the description box below it, and I guess it says go find the music here or whatever, but it's still playing copyrighted music and getting away with it.
Right.
Kind of not happy about that.
You found a loophole.
Why is that not working for us? Why didn't everybody have that ability?
Well, I don't.
He's got 1 million followers, and that's a little bit different, but you know. And not being able to stop messing around with shit again. I'll check the hair again. Whoa. I'll wipe that off first. See, that's supposed to be blue toned instead of just gray, and it looks a lot gray to me. You guys could see a blue tone in this?
Barely.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. See, so what I'm doing, Chad, with the orange, it's all just block in.
Yeah.
When they dry, I'll be able to go over them in detail and see how, like what I did with the helmets, is that I'm going to do that again, right? I have to change the focus for it to refocus. That's such a weird thing, right? But yeah, that's finishing the helmets up. When I left them off looking like that. They were just pretty much plain and flat.
Right.
Now coming back into them, I manipulate the colors a little bit more because I have a base to manipulate them on. And I can do glazes on them. A glaze is, well, it's basically a wash. It's a wash when you think about it in terms of either watercolors or water-based. But if it was oils, it would be a glaze. Just thinned.
But
It's time for our regular, not sponsored.
core. Yeah.
Should we put on some music in the background, or
It's up to you.
you guys have anything to say?
No, it's fun.
I was telling Joe that I'm almost through with Goldfinger, and wow, it's bad. He's talking about, in Goldfinger, he's talking about two chicks, Pussy Galore and Jill Masterton. and
Yeah.
they are lesbians. Pussy Gore is a lesbian, and Bill Masterton is someone who was trying to kill Goldfinger because it was her sister that got painted gold in the movie. And they're lesbians, and then he starts talking about the problem with people that are attracted to their own sex is that girls want to be like guys and they want guys to be like girls. This is in the 1950s. Like, I'm looking around today and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much the argument today. Like, the whole sexual thing is that guys can be girls and girls can be guys. And it's not about what they're sexually interested in. It's about how they're representing themselves, and that's what he was saying, is that they're not just trying to be pretty women that are attracted to pretty women. They're trying to be guys with lady parts. I don't know. I find it interesting that he wrote that in the 50s. Boy, so you can see that paintbrush just make a run for it.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it was. I'm starting more and more to see why they're saying that the Bond books were racist, sexist, whatever it is. But most of them are other characters thinking it. But these last two books, it's been Bond thinking it. So,
Right.
so I'm kind of a little bit different.
Well, also, like you said, it's probably done with it and tired of doing the Bond books.
Oh yeah, I'm sure this is the 6th book, and then at the end of the 4th one, he literally killed Bond. He didn't even bother telling us, showing us Bond surviving. The next time you see Bond, it's just them talking about him surviving because this French cop thought it was a certain kind of poison, which he gave him the antidote for, and it's not that kind of poison, but that antidote worked on him. So it's like, huh? Okay. Almost sounds like somebody else is giving him an excuse to bring Bond back.
Right. You need more money. Make enough good.
Well, like I said, he wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, so I think he really wanted to go off in a different direction.
Right on.
And in this book, particular in Goldfinger, Bond is reflecting on how many people he's had to kill. And even though he's talking, thinking what he thinks about lesbians and Koreans and all this other stuff, he's also regretting killing people and putting people in danger because of his actions.
Right.
So he's really having Bond doubt his calling,
Jesse jumped in chat. He said, sadly, on my way to work, but it's looking good.
Yeah, it looks better now. I'm about to play with the hair with this really cool new brush. If it works. If it works, we're going to see that right now. We're going to see if I'm going to have to paint over it again.
Why is this side of the painting so heavy? Trying something.
Well, fortunately, a couple of parts of this I can get away with it a little bit heavier. Now also, the whole reason I qualified this as not a portrait, but a portrait of caricature, is so that if I didn't like the way it was going, I didn't have to worry about being perfect. And I haven't painted a lot of portraits as far as painting goes. Well, I've done a lot of portraits, but not as a painting.
Right.
And painting is way way more difficult, interesting to control. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like tattooing in the least bit when it comes to that. I keep thinking that's just too light. So, how am I going to darken this up? I'm going to darken this up with a little bit of French sienna. It adds a little bit of red to the equation, but it adds a little bit of brown to the equation too. And it's really a light blonde color, but I don't want to value-wise be higher value than the rest of the picture, especially than the light shining on the sides of their faces.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to darken it up a little bit. I probably should have just worked with making it a little bit more of a ochre color to begin with. Because the ochre color is a little bit more believable. We're like 3 times as small now, so you have to tell people what you're doing.
What?
Huh?
What's that?
Weren't you just doing the Darth Vader shit?
Oh yeah, I hit the button on his chest.
Yeah, right. You can't see it, so I'm just saying you're a third the size now, so you kind of have to let people know what's going on. If you want them to know what's going on. That is.
No, I just want them to look around and be like, what the fuck is that noise? Lord Vader, is that you? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I've done that enough to not like it. So now, use a different brush. Finer brush. And it's not so directionally challenged. The directionally challenged one here is me. So I'm not wiping this completely off. I'm just rubbing that in some.
Right on.
So there's still a little bit of texture.
Got you, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my mic, man, and give my daughter a call. Say good night. All that good jazz.
Can you see what I'm mixing? You can't.
Nope.
I'm not sure you're going to be able to. What I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of burnt sienna in, and then white and yellow. I want it predominantly white and yellow, but a hint of the burnt sienna. Not burnt sienna, burnt umber. Because what I'm going to attempt to do, notice I said attempt, is to make it look like the strands are going from the light into shadow. Even though that's backwards, you should do it the other way. I hadn't decided I was going to use a liner brush until now. I have been known to stare at pictures for hours. Trying to pick up technique. I've seen a couple of amazing pieces that literally got their latest values by taking a very, very thin liner and crossing it over and over and over again like a spider web, lightening the values with each layer. I used to think I'd never have the patience to do that. Until now.
Boo. Whoa.
Joe keeps thinking if he sneaks in here like that, he'll give me a heart attack.
Not trying, man, really.
No, it's just easy.
Right.
How's it, Leah?
What's that?
How's it, Leah?
Good, man. Doing good. Playing Fortnite. Like, I'm playing Fortnite, Dad. Yeah, okay. You gonna talk to me, girl? Nah, she doing it. I guess her business is doing a little better.
Cool.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask is, how's your store doing?
Right now they're running a special. They got everything like 15% off. Must be pretty good. Yeah, that looks a lot better, dude.
The hair?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's because it was looking like crap. That's why I was saying it wasn't looking like what I wanted it to look like, so
right on.
I'm going to have to make a few changes.
Well, that fan brush kind of threw you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that other brush did too, just basically did the same thing.
All
I
right.
think because I'm trying to stick to a specific picture,
Right on.
I'm trying to get the hair flowing the way it is in that picture instead of, like, if I wasn't worried about the hair flow and I was just doing something kind of random with those brushes, I could get a really good hair flow,
Right.
but I'm trying to get something very particular. And you know, when you're trying to get something very particular and you're not getting it,
Yeah. Frustrate the shit out of you.
it makes you want to say things that people could misconstrue.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This color that I'm just applying to her hair is
Yeah.
actually this color,
All right.
the darker end of that spectrum. But because there's such a darker background to it,
Yeah.
it makes it
I
look
got you, man. Picking up what you are putting down. Yeah.
I'm a lot happier with how the hair is looking. There's still got to be some highlights done to it, but this actually looks like what it's supposed to look like. So
Right on.
that makes it a lot better. Right off the bat.
Word.
Do you know where the term "the whole 9 yards" comes from?
Yep.
Golf tournament.
Nope.
Yes, I do.
I was gonna say if anyone that if I was betting if anyone did, it would be you. You want to tell them?
Sure. It comes from fighter pilots during World War II. See, most fighter planes during the war, their guns could hold a belt of ammunition that belt of ammunition was 9 yards long.
That
All
was
right.
just shy of 9 yards, but
Yeah, just
like
shy.
it-
Yeah, just shy of 9 yards. But so that's when pilots were talking, like amongst themselves or whatever, they were saying, like, I got in behind him, and I gave him the whole 9 yards, and he went down, blah blah blah. And so that's how that
they
saying.
gave him the whole 9
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Meaning,
That makes more
meaning,
sense than what I was thinking.
Right, well, you know, a lot of people thought it was a football term,
All
but
right.
Yeah.
that's 10 yards. So, you know. Yep. Means from the belt of the machine gun.
Cool.
I do know it also originated because of the belt in a specific fighter plane. It could have been the Mustang. Might have been a different plane.
Yeah, I wanted to say it was a Spitfire, but
It could have been. It could have been a Supermarine
you might be
Spitfire.
right.
Yeah.
There was a couple of different Mustangs, so
Which would kind of explain it too, because Supermarine Spitfire was generally a British design, flown by British pilots. So that saying almost does kind of seem like British slang, you know.
All right. Very cool.
Now there's no proof of that. I mean, it could straight up be a U.S. term, but.
right, I could definitely be wrong about what plane it was. But yeah, we were just talking about that the other day at the drive-thru at the Dunkin' Donuts. I like to investigate colloquialisms and
Yeah, I do too.
find out the
I
origin.
find- Yeah, I find it interesting. There's a lot of definitely a lot of interesting stories for some of the language that we use, or slang that we use.
Right.
Yeah, Colin Powell was saying that Ebonics actually came from England too.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, Thomas Sowell goes through quite a bit of that.
Yeah, if you look at
a
a lot of
Weeby, baby,
yeah, if
that's Cornish or something like that.
Cockney.
All right.
Oh, what is the name of that book? Yeah, Black Rednecks and White Liberals, which I have somewhere around here.
Yeah, Colin Powell.
No, Thomas Sowell.
Yeah, that man's a genius. Where Son of a Gun comes from?
Where what come from?
Son of a Gun.
Couldn't tell you.
I and it's a myth. What I heard, kind of
What's that?
it's kind of a sort of a myth from what I've heard.
Nope.
Well,
Anybody?
it's a what I heard is a story about a Civil War soldier who was shot through the obviously, and some of his seaman apparently hitched onto the bullet for a ride, and it hit a woman in the stomach, and later on she ended up giving birth.
Oh, yeah.
That's not where the term comes from.
No,
Nope.
no,
The term comes from, actually, it's someplace simpler than that.
okay,
Nobody got shot to get the name son of a gun. It comes from the British Navy. When they would stop at port, they would pick up a prostitute a lot of times, and they would sneak that prostitute onto the ship. That's why one of their calls to make sure that they were ready to start the day was show a leg. If they showed a female leg, then they knew they got 5 minutes extra or whatever. But
gotcha.
they would get pregnant. And the only place on a ship that was acceptable to actually give birth was the table between the cannon. So where they would load the shot and all that, that's where the women would lay and give birth. So the son of a gun was actually because they were born between the guns on a Navy ship.
Oh.
Makes way more sense.
Yeah, like there was a myth. I guess that's one thing, but I just happen to know the origin of it, and I just love stuff like that.
I do know there was a show on the History Channel at one time that was about that specific topic. I haven't seen it for a long time. I don't even know if it's still.
Well, I don't know about that. I got that actually from a Bernard Cornwell book, and he writes historical fiction. So when he did facts like that, that's stuff that he's researched and comes up with. It's so funny. The historical fiction crowd, they've actually really given hate mail to authors for doing stuff like having the Queen enjoy chocolates that were imported before chocolates were exported. Like there was a 5-year window or something like that, and they did it 1 year before or something like that. Bernard Cornwell said that he mentioned a certain kind of flower that, obviously grew around where he lived. And he mentioned that in the historical setting, and he was taken to task because that was not a indigenous species.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you have nothing better to do with your time. Like, eventually, you got to make a choice between the history and the fiction, because you're writing historical fiction. And he does that with a historical note. He'll say the events took place slightly different, like this battle took place in this place, but I couldn't get my characters there in time, so. But for the most part, if it's historical detail, he's pretty accurate about it.
Yeah.
Without being overbearing, I think. I guess different people would feel differently, but. You know where the sleep tight comes from?
The what?
Good night, sleep tight. Where sleep tight comes from?
Nope. I'm guessing it has to do with bed bugs.
It has to do with beds.
Ropes
Oh,
underneath.
Yes, the ropes underneath.
Yeah.
A lot of beds had ropes instead of what we know as springs, and
Yeah.
Sleep Tight was tightening the ropes.
no. Nowadays, that would just be a fetish.
Yeah, and the ropes are above the bed this time.
Yeah. Or they strap under the bed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, how come it's still the same? Vacuum.
I was about to ask if we were still talking about colloquialism, but I'm pretty sure.
Sure we were. We were, yeah, we were.
Not unless all of America is that colloquialism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hair looks a lot better, dude. Kind of losing what you're doing, though, man. So your hand like right at the black bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now what I'm doing is I'm covering the edge, the very edge of the hair,
Gotcha.
with a kind of on yellow orange, but I lightened it up a little bit with white.
All right.
Because it's going to be like the cheek and the nose, because there's the light source of
Yeah,
color
yeah.
comes this way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put another light layer over it, just a little bit lighter.
Right on.
Before I do that, I want to have a darker base so that it stands out and doesn't look confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm covering the pencil lines, the final pencil lines on this side with, well, the final pencil lines in my hair. So the pencil will be going on.
Yay.
No, it's kind of a redemption thing. Last time it was not working the way I wanted to.
Mhm.
Now I feel like
You lost it again.
oh yeah.
What you're
Well, I was
doing?
saying, like, this is a smaller painting, and yet.
Well,
So the reason that I keep getting lost is because the last time that I messed around with this camera, it
Oh,
stripped
yeah, I
it
remember
fell
that.
off. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not messing with the camera anymore.
right.
I'm trying to stay centralized underneath of it. I'm not
You ever
able
find
to
that
do it
easel
all
you were
the
gonna
time.
set up?
What's that?
You ever find that easel you were gonna set up?
Well, yeah, I've got the easel right here.
Oh,
The problem is I don't have the space for the easel, and this is a little painting, so like this painting is just a little bit bigger than a piece of paper.
gotcha.
Instead of 8.5 by 11, it's 9 by 11.5 or something like that. Really close.
All right.
Rich, I gotta go.
All right, well, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, Dick.
See you later, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah. And then there was 3. Dun.
3 is still one more than we started with, really.
Yeah.
Well, 2 more than we started with, but it wasn't a we when we started. It was an I. But I'd much rather have it a collective.
Right.
I find
We are
I find
bored.
it more interesting. Everybody's got a different point of view. Everybody's got something a little bit different to add, to say.
Well, I got some.
I like that. I like having more availability for conversation.
True. Oh, yep. It's that time again. Let me
Dog.
use my dancing dog. Oh, she's standing outside of my door looking at me. I shall return, Luke.
Already.
Yeah. Ow! Creak! Oh,
How are you enjoying your stay on the show?
Oh, having fun.
What's that?
Having fun.
Good, good.
There we go. Michael.
That is the ultimate goal.
Just having fun watching you work again. Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Say that again?
It has been a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sure has.
Well, for a while, I didn't know if I was going to work again.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm happy that I am.
That's always a good thing.
Picking up any new tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I actually quite a few. Oh, there we go. Had a little bit of a
Should
lag
have the
there.
full. Should have the full time lapse of the Cthulhu painting for the thing too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely inspiring me to pick up the canvas again. I got 2 of them down here that I had started, and I just, uh, I don't know. I guess life just got in the way, so I kind of put them off. And if I speak the truth, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Back up now, I've got some more time on my hands.
Well, be more than happy to paint along with you. And vice versa, you're welcome to come over and paint along with me.
But I might have to take you up on that.
Like, we don't even have to paint on the screen. But, you know, like, as long as I'm painting on the screen, you can paint along, and I can show your work if you want. And you know. This is all about artwork for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, all forms of artwork that I can make a part of it. Writing, painting, drawing. I do Copics, and I did a Ninja Turtle Copic stream a little while ago.
Yeah, I didn't catch the stream, but I saw the image that you had posted. So,
Talking about doing a giveaway for it.
oh, really?
Yeah. Because few people that have been regulars, so like I want to get a few more people to speak up and let us know that they're here. But yeah, be very interesting to do a giveaway. We have to figure out how to do it fairly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure. I mean, like I pretty much either know everybody that's here or they are from yeah, let's see. Paint on this other paintbrush. Yeah, or they're from the stream or something. Or not a stream, Discord or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was wanting to avoid doing this with the little on every single stroke, but
Yeah.
I think that's actually the better method. And I'm certainly not afraid to, but again, that's you gotta have patience for that.
Yeah.
I want to stress that while we're streaming, so that anybody that's either watching or pops in later on to see the stream understands that it's not just a quick thing, it's a slow process. And sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want it to the first time,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can't give up if you want to get there.
Well, just like anything in life, if that's you want to get to a certain place, you gotta put in work for it.
Well, you know, we're talking about doing blocking and all this. It's basically because we know that it's not going to be perfect. So if we go into it blocking, we know it's not going to be perfect from the get-go.
Yeah.
We relieve that expectation of out of it from the get-go. So we're not walking into it thinking that we have to detail it this way or we have to detail it that way.
Yeah.
We're just marking off what's got to be darker and what's got to be lighter and working from there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a base to work on. We're going to expand on that base.
Right.
Like in tattooing, we think of it as a first session.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we may not get all the stuff we want done in the first session, but we can get enough done that we want in that first session to know where to pick it up
Yeah. Yeah.
or where we were going.
Sure.
That's really what we're trying to do out of all of this. Is, when we leave off, we have a place to pick it up, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you think about painting, tattooing, drawing, any of that as actually like taking notation, probably will help you with your end results all along, because when you're taking notes, you're just getting down to basics.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
taking notes. There's no investment other than just taking notes, right?
Right.
So what we're doing is laying down information. When I'm talking about blocking, it's information. The information is light and dark color. And sometimes it's the tone of the color, but not even that a lot of times. It's just making sure that that's filled with a facsimile of what we're going to work with.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't start off, like, if you watch this whole thing, I didn't start off with the tones that are in Jesse's face. Matter of fact, this is the last session. I added a little bit of blue to grade down the pink
Oh, yeah.
to make it look just a little bit paler, but I wanted it to look like a guy pale versus a girl pale,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. Yeah, the secret to acrylics is layers and patience.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting my patience back is really what it is. I think we know that I was a lot more patient before I went in the hospital and became a patient.
True. That's very true.
You don't teach tattoo artists to have no patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I'm very disappointed in some of the later apprentices that I had.
Yeah, I've pretty much sworn off taking an apprentice. I'm not interested in it. I'm just not interested at all.
Yeah, taking apprentices is heartbreaking, because really, if you're teaching somebody something like this, you're putting your everything into teaching them,
Yeah.
and they almost invariably don't appreciate it. Like, they don't have any love for what you're doing, or respect for you, or enough respect for you to figure out when someone's talking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have a couple of apprentices that I'm proud of. And you notice that I call you one of my former apprentices.
Yep.
That may not mean much, but it should.
It does.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the last apprentice I had. I'm disappointed that person was so easily, um,
Manipulated.
yeah, and convinced that I wasn't a good person because of something that was only halfway understood, or I don't even know really what went down. I can just guess myself. There was no reason for that person to stop being my apprentice or stop associating with me
There's,
until a certain new owner got involved.
yeah, so we are thinking about the same person. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm doing that person the courtesy of not mentioning that person's name.
Well, that was also why I didn't ask. I just wanted to say, Rich, are we thinking about the same person here? But, yeah, you confirmed it already.
Yeah, that person was a disappointment. And it was a disappointment more so because of the side repercussions than just me and that person.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, that person developed a relationship with Eli
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That
then
person did.
walked away from Eli and tried to, like, distance himself from Eli. You don't want to talk to me, that's fine. But unless I'm a special needs kid, you don't form a relationship with somebody like that and then just,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not where I was going with all that. Just saying that teaching is like that, I guess. I probably Brett knows about that too. You invest a lot of your heart and soul into trying to get somebody where they want to be.
Yeah.
And for them to, I don't know, turn their back on you, talk shit about you, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
just not cool.
No. But, yeah, that's unfortunately ever so common in that industry too.
Yeah, more and more common.
A lot of it seems to have a lot. You know what? I don't even want to say it's anything like personal manipulation or whatever. But I think the popularity of tattooing over the past, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 years it's at least amongst apprentices anyway. It seems to be less about more of learning the art and learning the art properly, not only on a physical on the physical level of actually doing the tattoo, but also learning the artistic side of it as well. Doesn't seem to be that much of an interest anymore.
Right. It's all about get the money.
Yeah.
There's no integrity there, really.
Realistically, yeah.
And yeah, that is sad. Like when in 2000, they made an apprentice license. Did you know that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in Williston, when I got my first license in 2009, they were talking about they had, I guess, just recently, within the past few years before that, had actually done away with the apprentice licenses.
Yeah, you know why they did away with them?
Yeah, they were well, at least.
And that's what I brought that subject up for, is because of why they did away with them.
Yeah, from at least what I was told by the city clerks and the inspectors.
I can't hear you.
How about now?
A little bit. You're kind of low. I don't know if your volume is down or.
Okay.
Anyway,
But anyway, that the at least the claims were that the artists were taking apprentices, basically up and then not signing off on them for the license, and come to the curb.
yeah. So what their complaint was that they need to serve X amount of time under the apprenticeship and then just be signed off of.
Yeah.
The problem with that theory is that not everybody learns at the same rate. The reason that I had a certain way that I went about apprenticing is because I had learned at a certain way,
Yeah.
And remember, I had everybody set up my caps and tear down my caps and clean up and all that. Why? Not because I needed to do it, needed to have it done. I knew how to do it myself. I'm teaching you how to do it, right? But I'm teaching you how to do it by memory.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to think about it anymore. You're just developed that as a habit because you've done it so many times.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you can expand upon that. And maybe you change the way your cap's set up, or change the way your machine is set up. Like, 'cause you're left-handed, so it's not going to be the same as mine.
Yeah.
That it's just to give you a base to start off with. But an apprentice isn't ready just because they've said that they've been I'm an apprentice and I signed my contract a year ago. That doesn't make them ready. What makes them ready is that they know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, these guys weren't getting that. They're not ready. They don't know what the hell they're doing. How many of them right now are scat vendors that they've been apprenticed, but they're still fucking shooting scabs on people?
Right.
They're still tearing the shit out of their skin.
Yeah.
How many of them do you have to fix up every week?
Yeah.
And see, that's the problem with saying, oh, it's 100 hours of an apprenticeship. It's not like you're a plumber where you're, if you mess something up, somebody else can just pull the pipe and put it back in and it's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
You fuck something up on the tattoo, it's permanent. Yeah, you can cover it up, but it's never fresh skin again.
Yeah.
It never goes back to what it was to begin with. And there's always something that shows through. I don't give a fuck who and how good they did.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Your picture on fucking TikTok or whatever.
And Joe Darren
Looks
said
great.
you need
Yeah,
to eat.
looks great. But let me see that tattoo again after it's healed. Let me see it a year from now. Let me see it
Joe.
5 years from now.
I heard. I see.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know because that was 7 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'll eat. Really?
Did you tell me you were hungry before the stream started or something?
Nah.
I think actually that's going to be it for this session. I'm happy with the hair and I don't want to mess anything
Right.
else up.
Yeah,
So-
I like it.
It looks good.
Now,
Okay.
I got to go back in and texture him out a little bit more, but I'm happy with what the filbert did. I knew turning the canvas upside down and tapping that filbert was going to get the semicircular pattern.
Yeah, man.
She doesn't have to have a specific pattern for her, but I do want to darken this up, so I'm going to probably, and this is something to keep in mind too, like I'm going to go over part of the hair when I'm hitting this second time.
Right.
Same thing with here. But when I go back over that hair, now I know the effect that I want to get and how I can get it. So it's a lot more easier of a process to decide exactly what I'm going to do. and I got the values of the hair actually dead on. I thought it was white, but acrylics dry darker, and I have to keep telling myself that because I try to keep lightening it up because it's too dark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here for the painting. We'll stick around for a minute once I fill out the screen, and then we can talk back screen. So thank everyone for showing up.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
you.
Joe for hanging out.
Love
Rock on.
chicken
Thanks
grease.
for everyone that watched. Thanks for everyone that will watch. If you like it, hit like and subscribe. Good night. God bless. We love you all.
God bless. Peace.
Have a good night.